No, 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 no. Cut that, edit that, and there you go, the best Spike episode to date. So, we finally know what was that mysterious object at the end of the Changeling. That took shorter than we thought it will. I was expecting the Changeling invasion no sooner than season finale. And I was actually expecting that this is actually Queen Chrysalis, not just random hungry drone. But that's okay, it's all fine, because it's almost the best episode of this season. Almost, because of the song. Yes, this song is a complete miss in this episode. This season have a stigma on hit or miss songs, and sadly most of them are miss, just like here. The only songs I like and were fitting was in Spice Up Your Life and Heartwarming Tale, but I don't count the second one since that was a musical episode. As for this one, the song is pretty much the only real complaining that I have about it. The rest of the episode is just great. Pretty much there is no arguing in that matter. I haven't seen anyone in the community who would complain about this episode, calling it weak or even bad. If there are such people, please let me know. As for the episode, hi Starlight cameo that at least have a speaking role this time, her presence actually surprised me a bit, even more than the fact that this is a Spike episode, even if the synopsis suggested that. But hey, that's a really good episode that could easily rival with the Gauntlet of Fire or even beat it, if only not the song. However, I will say that at first I was actually afraid because of the fact that this is a Spike episode. Gauntlet of Fire and Changeling might have the best portrait of him, but those are still only 2 episodes, not enough to redeem the past, and I'm glad that I was wrong. Well, he was following the statement that all the changelings are evil, but when Thorax helped him, Spike didn't run away, but instead was intrigued enough to actually give Changeling a chance. And I will say that he done the right thing trying to slowly convince every pony to give Thorax a chance, instead of publicly introduce him right away. Not only others could think that Spike was under mind control spell, Little Dragon could not be 100% sure about Thorax's honesty. Even if he saved his life, this could be a deception. Luckily it wasn't. Even though I like him, there was still that thought in the back of my mind that this is a trap, that he is just a scout who tries to infiltrate the Crystal Empire. But he wasn't, and I'm glad for that. He's the prime example of how bad the generalization is. It's the issue we all deal with every day. How many people still think that all Muslims are supporting ISIS? I might be going into extremes, but you get my point. As we've seen in his flashbacks, Thorax was good Changeling ever since he hatched, and pretty much was forced by Chrysalis to be part of the Cantlot invasion, and it was the main 6 who finally convinced him that it will be better to separate from the hive and seek what he truly desires. As for the Spike, he was a great support to Thorax, trying to convince other ponies that he can be friends with Changeling and later go around the town with him in disguise to introduce him to society. Yet, people jumped on Spike that he didn't stood up for his friend when his identity was revealed. But let me ask you a question. What would you do in his situation? If you said, I would stood out for Thorax, 9 times out of 10, that's a lie. Spike is a baby dragon who cracks under the pressure of ponies who he loves and admire. Plus, he is a national hero there, and defending so-called evil creature might break that picture. The risk of others not understanding is just too big, and technically, she didn't pick any option. He didn't agree with Sunburst, neither stood out for Thorax. He just said, I don't know. Looking at him, I actually think that he and Thorax share many similarities. They're both different from their kind. They both were under pressure of their surrounding, and they both done the right thing at some point. It almost feels like he was made as a sort of contrast to Spike, and I understand what Spike had in mind when singing that Thorax know the real him. With that being said, time for the bash of this episode. The song. It's not that it's bad, heck, it's actually touchy and it's good that Spike finally have his solo song. But the placement is just terrible. In some other episodes I was complaining that song was not needed, but I couldn't tell how you can replace it. Here it's clear. Spike could as well tell every pony how Thorax saved his life. Twice. Or that they liked him when they thought he was a crystal pony. The effect would be the same. But at least the song by itself is fun, and it's actually showed me the reason why Starlight is in this episode. Just look at her. At that moment she pretty much felt what Spike was trying to tell them regarding her past. However, I will also defend the ponies in this episode. I use the example of Muslims being generalized because of the terrorist, but on the other hand, it's hard to blame people for that. Just like here, on one hand, Shining Armor and Cadence have all the rights to say nice Changeling doesn't exist, considering their experience with them. On the other hand, it wasn't the Changeling Swarm but Chrysalis who kidnapped Cadence and brainwashed Shining Armor. So even if they were wrong, they were right to be suspicious at first, and they gave Thorax a chance. That also means something. So yeah, my only real complaining in this episode is the song and its placement, but because by itself it was a nice number, I still rank this episode high. Pretty much it's still a contestant to the title of the best episode of this season. As a Spike episode, it might not be as good as Gauntlet of Fire, but as one of the episodes of Season 6, it's one of the best. Another great portrait of our favorite little dragon. What I also do like about it is the fact that it finally gave Crystal Empire as a whole a reason to exist. Royal Guards are more proactive, even if they are sometimes a bit silly, and Town's ponies are also reacting to the situation. Twilight, on the other hand, wasn't as needed as it looks like, but still played a big role in this episode as the first pony who set the example for others and offered Thorax her friendship. If I had to be nitpicky, I would say that this episode raises so many questions about Changeling and Chrysalis, but soon we shall know all the answers. For now, we shall all enjoy this great episode. One step closer to redeem pre-season 6 Spike episodes. I'm Sharpwit, and I know which headcanons are dead. Thanks for watching.